Hello, sports fans and football fans. It's me, Sportsman Z, Bob Zolke. And today, got another football game for you because I love my new football game setup and I want to use it as much as I can. So what we have today is a game between the 1977 Pittsburgh Steelers, the Steel Curtain, and they are going to be taking on the 2020 Indianapolis Colts, who were also a good team. They didn't quite probably have the defense that the Steelers have, but you've got a 1970s quarterback, Terry Bradshaw, that is probably not going to be quite as efficient as the 2020 Phillip Rivers will be for the Colts. So, with all of that having been said, we are going, I have to lift this up because we got to get the scoreboard in. There we go. Well, no, we don't. Got to get this thing where it, works. Okay, there we go. If it stays there, we're going to be good. So anyway, we've got the field. You can see the scoreboard. And what we're going to do is we're going to start this game. Now, the visiting team I have is the 77 Steelers, and they will be kicked off by the Indianapolis Colts. So the Colts kickoff is to the 2-yard line, and number 1 back is going to receive it. And the number 1 back for the Steelers is Jim Smith Jr., and he'll return that as an 8, so it's on the Colts return card. The Colts return a specialty card on kickoffs, and that's going to be 15 yards. So the Steelers are going to start at the 17-yard line, and that's where we're going to have them begin. So you see we're in the first quarter, it's first down. We're in the first quarter. Now this entire thing right here is that's the entirety of one quarter. And what I'm going to do, the way I'm going to do this is that we are going to we're going to move the timer 2 on every play except kicks. So kickoffs, extra points, field goals, no time will move. And on every other play, regardless whether it's a run or a pass or an incomplete pass, I'm going to move it 2. And that should give us the approximate time of a game, or the approximate number of plays for a game. So anyway, let's get back to this game. And if you've seen my past football videos, you know I've got the specialty dice that I use to determine whether the other team is right or wrong on their guess. And only in very obvious situations will I not use that dice. And then you've also got an offensive penalty and defensive penalty for that'll get rolled at the same time as well. So we're going to start this. Oh, by the way, the starting offense for the Steelers, I will go over that right now since they are on offense. The backfield is going to be Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier. The quarterback, obviously, is Terry Bradshaw. At flanker, you're going to have Lynn Swan. At tight end, you got Randy Grossman. The split end is John Stallworth. And, of course, the kicker is Roy Jarrella. None of those names are names that you would not know. But anyway, let's get on with it. This is going to be an end run with Rocky Bleier. And there is, right off the bat, there's an offensive penalty. And they were right. And it's on Rocky Bleier's card. End run 4 is 2 yards, but let's see if there's an offensive penalty. We will roll on the specialty card to find that. It's a 9, and it says the opponent's offsides. So that's going to be a 5-yard penalty, and we move that 2, and it'll be first and 5 for the Steelers. They're going to do a line buck with Franco Harris on their second play from scrimmage, and that is a 7, and we'll have to see if they were looking for it. I have a chart which will tell me that. And it's a 3, so it's going to be, they're looking for the pass. So, and this was a run, and it's a 7, and it is line buck on Franco Harris's card. Line buck 7 is a short gain because they were wrong. They were looking for the pass. And that's a 10, which is probably like 12 yards. Yes, it is 12 yards. So 4, 14, back it off 2, and you've got a 1st and 10 for the Steelers. And I'm really bad about this. The possession is not it's not the Colts, it's the Steelers. And it's now 1st down, but I've got to keep on top of that. That's something, there's so many moving parts with the football game, you're going to have to bear with me. It's not like the baseball, it's not cut and dried, and you only have to worry about 1 or 2 things at a time. There's a whole bunch of things you got to worry about with the football. But anyway, we do have a 1st down for the Steelers, and they're going to go back to Rocky Bleier and an end run with Rocky Bleier. And that's going to be a 5. It's going to be a possible, it's a possible penalty, but it also might be a possible fumble. Let's see. 5 on Bleier end run is going to be, they are right. So it'll be a fumble -7, 2 to 8, 11, or 12. He fumbles. Let's resolve that first. He does fumble 2 to 6 or 12. The Steelers get it back. They don't. So there is a turnover on downs, but let's check for the defensive penalty on the Colts. If there's a defensive penalty, that gets wiped out. 9, we look at their card, and we can see that it's the opponent was offside. So the Steelers were offsides on that. So that was not on the Colts, and that means that the Colts will take over. And let's see, this moves 2 for 1 play, and then 2 for another play. Again, I have to catch up here. But it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Colts, and they are on they're on the Steelers' 20 or 26-yard line. Yeah, so it's going to be the Colts on the 26. And they're not going to waste any time. They're going to go short to the split end. Now, let me go over the Colts offense. The Colts offense at halfback, you've got Jordan Wilkins and then at the other halfback, there's going to be a double halfback here, Jonathan Taylor. And the quarterback, of course, is Phillip Rivers. He has Michael Pittman Jr. at flanker, T.Y. Hilton at split end, and Mo Alley Cox as the tight end. So with that having been said, they are going to go short to the split end, which is T.Y. Hilton. And that is going to be a 10. They're going to roll for the to determine what it is, what they're looking for, what the Steelers are looking for. That is a 12, and that is going to be the run. They're looking for the run. And so they are wrong. And this is it doesn't matter. It's on the defense card. I should have realized that. So 10 short pass on the Steelers defense is going to be a -8-yard sack. So Phillip Rivers gets sacked, and it's going to be 2nd down. And this moves 2 more. 13 minutes left in the first quarter. They're going to go end run with the halfback, Jonathan Taylor. And that's going to be a 3, and it's on the end run defense for the Steelers. End run 3 is a short gain, as it is on most defenses, whether they're great or not. That is a 4. That is an 18-yard gain, and it gets them the first down exactly. So they have a 1st and 10, the Colts do now, at the Steelers' 16-yard line. And the timer moves 2 more. And we're back to first down, and so it's a 1st and 10 for the Colts. And they're going to go off tackle with Wilkins, the fullback. So let's put that in, off tackle with the fullback Wilkins. That is a 12 off tackle on the Steelers defense. And that's going to be 6 yards. So that's going to be a 2nd and 4. Moves 2 more, and there's 12 minutes left. They're going to go end run with their halfback, Jonathan Taylor. And I'm going to have to get these dice here. That's a possible fumble, and it is wrong. They were wrong on their guess, but let's see. 5, Jonathan Taylor end run is fumble 0-2. Only on a 2 does he even fumble, and he doesn't. So he gets 0 yards, and we'll move it 2 more. There's 11:30 left. And it is now 2nd down and 10, or second, no, it's 3rd and 6, or 3rd and 4. It's 3rd and 4 now. They're going to go short to the split end. They're going to go right into the end zone, try to put this pass into the end zone and get the 7 right now. That is a 6 on a short pass when they are right. There's no possible penalty on this one. No penalty on this one. And when they're right, it's an incomplete pass. So that'll make it 4th down. And there's 11 minutes left in the first quarter. The Colts have a decision here. They have a 4th and 4. They have to decide whether to go for it. They can't throw a flat pass because they are too close for a flat pass. It would have to be a short pass. So they're going to kick the field goal. Now they are at the 10-yard line, and when the Colts are at the 10-yard line, a kick is good, 2-11. And it is. So the Colts, and I didn't change the possession. I should have done that. But anyway, it's 3-0, and now the Steelers will have the possession. I got to remember, again, too many moving parts. You got to bear with me. That was a kick, so the time didn't move. The kickoff is an 8, and that's going to be to the goal line, number 1. So the Steelers are going to receive the ball at the goal line, and Jim Smith Jr. will be the guy returning it again. That is a 9, and that's going to be 23 yards. So the Steelers will have it 1st and 10 at the 23. And we got to go back, do the first down. That was a kick, so that doesn't move any time. And they're going to go end run with their halfback, and that is Rocky Bleier. And that is a 7 when they were right. End run right, Rocky Bleier. And that's -6. He loses 6 yards on that. 10:30 left in the first quarter. They're going to go short pass to the split end. And the split end is John Stallworth. And they are right, and that's a 6. Short pass on Terry Bradshaw is a 15-yard pass. So they have a 3rd and 1 coming up. 10 minutes left. They're going to go, and they're down 3-0. They're going to go linebuck with the fullback, and that would be Franco Harris. So linebuck fullback on 3rd and 1. And we're going to say that they're looking for the Colts are looking for the run. This would be an obviously running situation. 6 on linebuck on the Colts defense is 1 yard. They get the 1 yard that they needed, and they have a first down. 9:30 left in the quarter, and it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Steelers. They're going to go end run with Rocky Bleier. And that's going to be a 7, and it's on the Colts defense. And what was that? End run with Rocky Bleier. 7 is only 1 yard. So that's going to be 2nd and 9. They're going to go, you know what? They're going to launch it. On 2nd and 9, they're going to go long to the flanker. And the flanker is Lynn Swan. So if you're going to throw long to somebody, Lynn Swan is as good a choice as any. They were wrong, but there's a possible offensive penalty, and it's a 7. So they're wrong, 7, long pass. That's incomplete, but let's see if there was an offensive penalty on the Steelers. That is a 4. That says opponent number 6, so it's not actually on the Colts, the penalty is. And that was a passing play. All right, that was an illegal contact, so it's going to be a first down, 5-yard penalty, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's a, I guess it's a 1st and 5. 9 minutes left. They're going to go end run with the halfback, and that is Rocky Bleier. And that is a 12. There is a possible offensive penalty, but 12 on end run on Indianapolis is 3 yards. But let's see if there was an offensive penalty. That's a 6. 6 is number 5, so they did have a penalty. The Steelers did have a penalty. That's holding, so it's going to be a 10-yard penalty. So that's going to be 3rd and 13 now. 8:30 left in the quarter. They got no choice. They got to pass it. They're going to go short to the split end, and I think that's Stallworth. And that is a 10. Possible offensive penalty, but they were wrong. And that's going to be a 31-yard gain, but let's see if there was an offensive penalty on the Steelers. That could mess that up. That's a 9. 9 is opponent was offsides, so they would refuse that penalty, and they would take the 31-yard gain. 1, 10, 20, 30. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Steelers at the 40-yard line of the Colts. 8 minutes left in the first quarter. They're going to go end run with the halfback, Rocky Bleier. He's getting a lot of work this half. That is going to be an 11. Possible defensive penalty, and they were right. And that's going to be -3 yards, but let's see if there was a defensive penalty. 6. 6 on their card is no. There is no penalty on the Colts, so it is a 3-yard loss. So that's going to be 2nd and 13. And they're going to go off tackle with Franco Harris. And let's see what the Colts will guess here. They are wrong, and it's an 8 off tackle on Franco Harris, and it's going to be only 2 yards. So it's going to be a 3rd and 11. 7 minutes left in the quarter, and they're going to go short to the tight end. They're going to throw a short pass to the tight end, and that is Grossman. And that is a 10. Short pass 10. And the Indianapolis defense is going to be an 8-yard sack. They sacked Terry Bradshaw 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 4th down. And you got to believe they're punting. The Steelers will punt, and that is a 4. So it's a good punt, but it probably will go out of the end zone. 4 is 47 back 2. No, it doesn't. It goes to the 2-yard line of the Colts, and their back number 2 on punt returns it's the same guy. It's Nyheim Hines, and he gets a 5, which is 4 yards. So possession will switch back to the Colts. But they're buried deep in their end. They're at the 6-yard or the 6-yard line with a 1st and 10. And they are going to come out with an end run by Jonathan Taylor. And that's again a possible fumble. 5 possible defensive penalty though. 5 end run on the Pittsburgh defense is fumble -3, 2 to 5 or 12. Again, we'll resolve what the running play was. It's 8, so he didn't fumble, but let's see if there was a defensive penalty on the Steelers. It's a 7, and there wasn't. So, so that was what happened there. That was a fumble and run, -3 yards. So they got a 2nd and 13. And they're going to go off tackle with their fullback, and the fullback is Jordan Wilkins. And that's a 5. That's a possible fumble, though they were wrong. And if they're wrong, let's see. What is that? Off tackle. If they're wrong, it isn't a fumble, but it's 0 yards. So that's 3rd down for the Colts. It's going to be a 3rd and 13. They got to try a pass. They got to get out from under here because a bad punt and they'll be in trouble. So they are going to go short to their split end. Short pass to the split end 7. That is an 11-yard gain. Now that gets them some yardage, but it doesn't. What it doesn't get them is a 1st down. It's going to be 4th down with 5 minutes left in the quarter. And they're going to have to punt, but at least they got a little bit of field position. And the punt is a 7, which isn't great. That's going to be 48 back 1. So 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 8, and the return. Back number 1. Back number 1 on punt returns. It's the same guy. It's Jim Smith Jr. for everything. 6 is going to be a 6-yard return. So they're going to go 1st and 10 at their 45. The Steelers will. We're going to switch the possession back to the Steelers, who are down 3-0, and they're going to go end run with Rocky Bleier. A lot of running. This is a 70s team. The quarterbacks generally weren't as good as today's quarterbacks statistically or pass. I mean, Bradshaw had a 51.6 completion percentage back then and 17 touchdowns with a 6.1 interception percentage. So definitely not as good as today's quarterbacks are. And that will be, you know, that's why they're going to run. So they're going to go end run with Rocky Bleier. They were wrong. Possible defensive penalty, but that's a 7. Let's see what 7 end run is. 6 yards. No, wait, they were wrong. It's going to be 5 yards, a 5-yard gain. But let's see if there was a defensive penalty. That is a 9, and 9 would be opponent offsides. So that's going to be a 5-yard penalty, and it's going to be a 1st and 15. 4:30 is left. They're going to go short to the split end. Short pass on 2nd and whatever here. That's an 8. They're wrong, and there's a possible defensive penalty. I don't know how those keep coming up all the time. There's only one of each of them, and they keep coming up all the time. But anyway, that is an 8 on a short pass wrong. And that's going to be receiver. And so we'll look at the split ends card, which is John Stallworth. And that's a 12, which is going to be 37 yards. That would be a 37-yard gain if there isn't a defensive penalty. But it really, we just have to see if it refers back to the, let's see, 6. No, there's nothing. So it's a 37-yard pass. So let's see, 10, 20, 30, 5, and only 6 because there was 1 back, I believe. So that's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Steelers from the Colts 23-yard line. 4 minutes left in the quarter. And they're going to go end run with the halfback. And that, again, is Rocky Bleier. And it's going to be they're going to question, well, it doesn't matter. It's end run on the Colts defense. And that's going to be 3 yards. So it's 2nd and 7. 3:30 left in the quarter. They're going to go off tackle with Franco Harris. And that is a 7 off tackle. 7 off tackle is going to be on the Colts defense 0 yards. So it's 3rd and 7. 3 minutes left in the quarter. They're going to go flat pass to the tight end. Trying to at least get the first down. That is an 8 flat pass on the Colt defense. Its receiver, the tight end, is Grossman. That is a 9, Randy Grossman. And that is going to be, they were right, so it's a 5-yard gain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it looks like it's going to be bringing up 4th and 2. 2:30 left in the quarter. Now, if they go for it and they don't make it, they still have the Colts buried inside their 20. They are going to, they're going to go for it. They're going to go line buck with Franco Harris. Their defense would be looking for it. That is a 7. I think they stopped them. Line buck 7, but there's a possible offensive penalty, which wouldn't matter if they do stop them. They did. They stopped them, no yards. Let's see if there was an offensive penalty on the Steelers, or whether it refers it back to the Colts. Yeah, it's opponent offsides. So it's actually going to be a 5-yard penalty and a first down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the Colts make a valuable mistake right there. And there's 2 minutes left in the quarter, and they will The Steelers are going to go short pass. It's first down. Short to the split end. So that really kind of blew the Colts up right there. Possible offensive penalty, and they're wrong, but it doesn't matter. It's a 7 short pass on the Colts defense, and that's going to be 11 yards, which would be a touchdown, but let's see if there's an offensive penalty on the Steelers. That is an 8, and that is going to be no, there is not. And so that is a touchdown for the Steelers. And if they make the extra point, it'll be 7. I can back it off if they don't, but their extra point is, let's see what that is. It's 2-10 good, and it is. So it is 7-3, and possession will switch back, at least for right now, to the Colts. And that was an 11-yard touchdown pass. 1:45 left in the quarter. The kickoff is a 7 by the Colts. And that is going to be to the 2, number 1. So the number 1 back is receiving that. And on kickoff returns, that's Isaiah Rodgers. That is a 6, and it's going to be 30 yards. So it's out to the 32. They got a little breathing room, at least, on that kick. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Colts from their own 32. They're going to go end run with Jonathan Taylor. End run with Jonathan Taylor, 9. It doesn't matter. That's end run on the Steeler defense, but there's a possible defensive penalty. Let's see what that is. End run 9 is 0 on the Pittsburgh defense, but let's see if they were guilty of a penalty. That's a 5. And that says offside. So they were offside. It's going to be 5 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's going to be a 1st and 5 with 1:30 left in the quarter. They're going to go long. They're going long for the first time here. The Colts are long to the split end, and the split end is T.Y. Hilton. And that's going to be, let's see what that is, whether they're looking for it or not. That's a 10. You can't probably see that, but it is I can see that it's a 10. And on 1st and 5, they were looking for the run. The Steelers were. So they're wrong, and that is a 10 on the defense. Long pass, or wait a minute, what was that? Yeah, it was a long pass. Long pass 10 is receiver. So they were wrong, and we're looking at T.Y. Hilton's card. That is a 7, unfortunately, and it's going to be incomplete. 1:15 left in the quarter, and they have a 3rd and 5 coming up. Or no, a 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5 coming up. They're going to go flat pass to the tight end. Flat pass to the tight end, 7 on the Steeler defense. Possible offensive penalty. That is going to be a short gain. Wow. Short gain. Let's play that out. It's a 5. It's going to be a 17-yard gain if there is no offensive penalty on the Colts. 8. Let's see. 8 on the Colts specialty card is opponent number 3. So it's going to be on the Steelers, so they're going to take the play, obviously. 4, 10, and 3. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Colts from the Steeler 47-yard line. And they're going to go long again. They're going to go long to the split end. They want to get that score back. And that's going to be a 10 on the Steeler defense. Long pass 10 is receiver. And the receiver is the split end, and that is T.Y. Hilton. And that is a 4. They were wrong, and it's incomplete anyway. Doesn't matter. 45 seconds left in the first quarter. 2nd and 10. They're going to go end run with Jonathan Taylor. And that is a 4. Possible offensive penalty, and they were right. So that is an end run 4. That is going to be 5 yards. But let's see if there was an offensive penalty on the Colts. I don't think there was. 7? No, there isn't. So they're going to get a 5-yard gain on that. And it's going to be 2nd, or is it 3rd and 5? Is it 3rd and 5? I'm going to say it's 3rd and 5. Just because that's where I had the thing. That's where I had the marker. So 3rd and 5 for the Colts. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, you know, whatever. It happens. Flat to the tight end on 3rd and 5 is what they're going to do. They're right. Possible defensive penalty, though, and a 4 on a flat pass on the Steeler defense. It's going to be intercepted +3. It's just intercepted 3 yards downfield unless there's a defensive penalty on them. So let's see if there's a penalty on the Steelers. 9. 9 is opponent offside, so no. They intercept the pass. The Steelers do 1, 2, 3 yards downfield, and now it's going back the other way, and now the Steelers have possession, and there's 15 seconds left in the quarter. And they're going to go end run with the halfback on 1st and 10. So I guess it doesn't matter whether that was 2nd or 3rd down or 1st down. It doesn't matter what it was because it was intercepted by the Steelers. They're going to go end run with the halfback, Rocky Bleier. And that is an 8. Possible offensive penalty. There's possible penalties on every... I got to do something about these penalties because there's just... the possible penalties come up too much. But anyway, it's an 8, and they're wrong. And it's an end run with Rocky Bleier. 8 wrong is 6-yard gain. But let's see if there's a defensive penalty or an offensive penalty, and it's a 5. And 5 says offside. So the Steelers were offside, so there was a penalty on them. That's going to knock them back 5 yards. And there's only 1 second left in the quarter. That's going to be 2nd and 15 for the Steelers. They're going to go end run with Rocky Bleier, with not Rocky Bleier, with Franco Harris. End run Franco Harris. I have to see if they were. No, we don't. 12 end run on the Indianapolis defense is 3 yards. 1, 2, 3. And so that's going to be 3rd and like 12. And we are in the second quarter. So let's put the marker to the second quarter. And it's 3rd and 12 from the 37-yard line. So let's make it the other 37. Make it the other 37 going this way for the Steelers, who do have the ball. And they have a lot of yards to gain. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. So it's 3rd and 12. They're going to go short pass to the flanker. And the flanker is Lynn Swann. And that's going to be right, which they should have been. And that's a 3 short pass by Bradshaw. 16 yards, and it's a first down. 3, 10, and 3. So they do get the first down. 14:30 left in the half. And it's first down for the Steelers. They're going to go end run with Rocky Bleier. Rocky Bleier is really getting leaned on. I might have to put in the second string halfback for a little bit. But he gets an 8, and that is 8 on the end run for the Colts, their defense. It's 0 yards. So it's going to be 2nd and 10. And we are going to do that. I'm going to change out Rocky Bleier because he has just been really overworked here. Okay, Reggie Harrison is coming in for Rocky Bleier at halfback. And they have a 2nd and 10 coming up. The Steelers do. And they're going to go flat pass to Randy Grossman, the tight end. And that is a 10. Flat pass on the Colts defense is 5 yards, just 5 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that brings up a 3rd and 5. 13:30 left in the half. And they're going to go flat pass to the fullback Harris. Let's see how many he caught. He only caught 11. Maybe not to him then. He only caught 3. They're going to go flat pass to Harris. And that is a 9, possible defensive penalty, and they were right. 9 is receiver. Let's resolve the play first. Franco Harris on a flat pass. That is an 11, which would be -2 yards because they were right. And let's see if there was a defensive penalty on the Colts. That is a 9. 9 is opponent offsides. So the Colts would take the play, which is a -2 yard gain, and brings up 4th down. 13 minutes left in the half. And they're going to punt, obviously. They have too far to go. So they're going to punt the ball. And that's an 11 on the punt. That's a terrible punt, but it doesn't matter because they were in Colts territory, so it might actually play in their favor that was a bad punt. 16 yards, though, is very bad. 16 back 1, so 4, 10, and 2. The Colts returning from their own 28-yard line. Number 2 back, which is the same guy anyway. It doesn't matter. That's an 8, so it's on the Steelers' specialty card on the return. And that's going to be 12 yards. So 2, 10, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Colts at their own 40-yard line. And they're going to air it out. They're going to go long to their flanker. And the flanker is Michael Pittman Jr. And that is a 4 on the long pass. And let's see what that is. 4 long pass. Let's see if they were right or wrong. It's 1st and 10. That's a 15. I think they were wrong. Yeah, they were wrong. So with them being wrong, that's an actual 32-yard gain on the pass to Michael Pittman Jr. 10, 20, 30, and 2. So that's 1st and 10 for the Colts at their own 28-yard line. Or at the Steelers, excuse me, at the Steelers' 28-yard line. 12:30 left in the half. They're going to go end run with the halfback. That's Jonathan Taylor, and they've been leaning on Jonathan Taylor too. Maybe we need to get him out of there for a few plays. That's a 5. That's going to be a possible fumble, but let's see what they were looking for. They were looking for the run. Possible defensive penalty too, but let's see what happened. 5, that's a fumble 0-2. And it isn't, so it's a 0-yard gain, but let's see if there was a defensive penalty on the Steelers. That is a 9, and that is opponent offsides. The Steelers will take the penalty. So that's going to be a 1st and 15. 12 minutes left, 1st and 15. They're going to go short to the split end. Short to the split end, 7. Possible defensive penalty every fucking play. Sorry for my language, but I got to really do something about this. But anyway, 7 on a short pass is on the Steelers defense. And that's going to be a 7-yard sack. So now they're at the 40, but let's see if there was a defensive penalty. 9 on the Steelers card. Opponent offsides, so they would decline the penalty. And so now it is 3rd and forever. 11:30 left. 3rd and forever from the 40. They're going to go long. Why not? Just go long to the flanker and hope for the best. That's Michael Pittman. As a 12, long pass, possible defensive penalty. Long pass on Pittsburgh. 12 is a long gain, but let's see if there was a defensive penalty first. 7, I guess it wouldn't matter unless it refers back. But there isn't. There's nothing. So it's a long gain. Probably going to be a touchdown. 6 is 35 yards. No, it's going to be down to the 5, though. So the pass goes all the way to the 5. It'll be a 1st down. 11 minutes left in the half. And it's 1st and goal. 1st and goal, they're going to go off tackle with Jordan Wilkins, their fullback. And that is a 7, and they were wrong. They were looking for the pass. So 7 off tackle on Wilkins is 3 yards, and that'll knock it down to the 2-yard line. 2nd and goal. $10:30 left. They're going to go line buck. Let's see what do we got on Phillip Rivers' card. They're going to go quarterback sneak. And it's well, that's 11. That's going to be bad. But they were wrong. It's a negative 1 yard. But there's a possible defensive penalty, of course. 4 on the possible defensive penalty is opponent number 6. And let's see what opponent number 6 is. Defense Illegal contact, or wait a minute, offense, number 6. Illegal procedure, 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. So they would take that. And it's 2nd and goal from there now. They're going to go end run with their halfback, Jonathan Taylor. And that's a 5. That's going to be, they are right. And that's going to be a 0 fumble, 2 to 2. They don't fumble, but it's 0 yards. 10 minutes left in the half. And it's 3rd and goal from the 7. They're going to go short to the tight end. Short pass to the tight end, 9. Possible offensive penalty, but let's see what the short pass 9 is. That's receiver. We'll go to the tight end and roll it. That's a 2. 2 on the tight end. Short pass is incomplete, but let's see if there was an offensive penalty. 8 is going to be opponent number 3. So that's going to be on the Steelers. Let's see what it is. It's going to be defensive pass interference. And that's going to be half the distance to the goal and 1st down. So they're at the 7. We'll put them at the 4 with a 1st and goal from the 4. These teams are both having a problem getting in. Both defenses are playing quite well. Linebuck with the fullback, and that's Wilkins. And that is a 7, and they were right. Linebuck 7 right is 0 yards. So it's going to be a 2nd and goal. On the good side, the Colts are holding the ball for quite a while. So, the less time you can give the Steelers, the better. They're going to go end run with their halfback, Jonathan Taylor. That is going to be a 6, and that's going to be, they're looking for the pass. So that's, well, it doesn't matter. It's a 6 end run on the Steeler defense, which is 5 yards and a touchdown. Let's see if the Colts make the extra point. They make the extra point on 2 to 11, and they do make the extra point. And so they have a 10, they have 10 points, and they lead this game by the score of 10 to 7, and the Colts will kick off. 8:30 left in the half. That is a 10 on the kickoff, which is -8 in the end zone, back number 2. The Steelers will just take it on the 20. And I'm playing with the old-time rules. I know it probably, I don't know. I mean, there's different situations, different things. Sometimes it's the 20, sometimes it's the 25. I'm not playing that game. It's going to be the 20 for any touchbacks. So they're going to take it 1st and 10 from the 20. And they're going to come out and go long. They're going to go long to Lynn Swan. The Steelers will. And that is a 5, but they were right. But let's see if that mattered. It's a must run for Terry Bradshaw since they're right. Now, this is a younger Terry Bradshaw. So he was a spry guy. 7 on the must run is 8 yards. So he gets 8 yards. And they got a 2nd and 2. 8 minutes left. They're going to go short to the split end, Stallworth. That is a 5, and that's on the opponent defense card. 5 short pass is receiver, and that's Stallworth. And that's a 4 on Stallworth's card, which is incomplete. But let's see if there was an offensive penalty on top of everything. That is a 10. 10 is number 2. So there was a penalty on the Steelers. They were passing. And so let's see. 2 is holding 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. So that's going to be, it'll stay second down, but 3, 8, 10, it's going to be a 2nd and 11 now. And they're going to go short pass to the tight end. 7:30 left in the half. That is an 8, and 8 on the short pass when they were right is going to be incomplete. So it's 3rd and 12. 7 minutes left in the half. Again, they got to go short. They're going to go short to the split end. No, they're going to go short to the flanker. They're going to go short to Swan. And that is a 9 short pass on the Colts defense. And that's going to be, oh, this whole time the Steelers had the ball. I gotta get better about this. Short pass 9 is receiver, and that is going to be Lynn Swan. And that is a 12. They were right, though. And 12 short pass is right is 18 yards. So they do get the first down. 2, 10, 7, 8. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Steelers from the 36-yard line. They're going to go end run with their halfback, and their new halfback is Reggie Harrison. And that is a 10. They are looking for the run. So 10 end run right is -1. They lose a yard, and there's 6 minutes left. They're going to go short to the split end. That's Stallworth. And that is going to be a 3, short pass 3, 16 yards and a first down. It's 1st and 10 for the Steelers at the Colt 49. 5:30 left in the half. They're going to go end run with their halfback. Again, that's Reggie Harrison. They're going to lean a little bit on Reggie Harrison, giving Bleier a breather. And that is an 8. And they were wrong. Well, it doesn't matter. It's an 8 possible offensive penalty. But it's an 8 on the defense, end run defense of the Colts, which is 0 yards. Let's see if there was an offensive penalty. 6. It's number 5. There is an offensive penalty. There is a penalty on the Steelers. And they were running the ball. So let's see. Illegal procedure 5 yards from the original line of scrimmage. So it's still first down, but it's 1st and 15 now. And they're going to they are going to, let's see, did that knock everything out of kilter? You really can't see the timer too well, but I don't think that matters that much. Yeah, we're just going to keep that. So 1st and 15, they're going to go end run with Franco Harris. End run Franco Harris, 4 on the Colt defense. That is 6 yards. So they got a 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8, they're going to go flat to the tight end. That is a 6, and they were right. Flat pass 6 is 7 yards if they're right, which is going to be a third. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 1. Four minutes left. They're going to go end run with the halfback. End run with the halfback. And that is a 4 on the defense. Possible offensive penalty, but let's see what it is. It's going to be 6 yards on a first down, but let's see if there was a penalty on the Steelers. 6. Number 5, they do have a penalty. The Steelers, there's penalties on this card. There's penalties on everything but 7, 8, and 12. So some of them are defensive, but anyway, let me look. That's going to be illegal procedure, 5 yards. So it's going to be 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6 after the penalty. They're going to go short to the tight end. And that's going to be a 5 possible defensive penalty. 5 short pass is receiver. And that's the tight end. Grossman, that's a 5. That's going to be 12 yards and a first down, pending the defensive penalty outcome. That's a 3. There's no penalty on Indianapolis, so it's a 12-yard gain. 4, 9, 12. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Steelers at the Colts 32-yard line. 3 minutes left in the half. They're going to go end run with the halfback, Jonathan Taylor. And that is a 9, and they were wrong. Or not, the halfback, Reggie Harrison. 9 is only going to be 1 yard. 2nd and 9. They're going to bring they're going to bring Rocky Bleier back in, but they're going to take out Franco Harris, and they're going to let Reggie Harrison continue, but as the fullback in place of Harris, Franco Harris, who will be getting a short rest. So that's going to be 2nd and 9 for the Steelers. And they're going to air it out. They're going to go long to the flanker Swan. And that is a 4, long pass on the defense of the Colts. And that's going to be incomplete. And it's going to be 3rd and 9. 3rd and 9, they're going to go flat pass to the tight end, Cunningham. Or is that Cunningham? No, Randy Grossman. And that is a 6, flat pass. And they were, let's see whether they were right or wrong. They were right. So 6, flat pass is 7 yards, which would be short of a first down. But anyway, let's see if there's an offensive penalty on the Steelers. That's an 8. I don't think it is. No. That's one of the ones where they don't have a penalty. So it's going to be 7 yards. And they've got a decision to make now. They got a 4th and 1. 1:45 left. I don't think there's any doubt they're going to go quarterback sneak with Terry Bradshaw. Line buck with Terry Bradshaw. And that is an 11. Let's see what that is. Probably not good. Nope. And they were right. That's a -1. He loses the yard, and the Colts will take over. So now the Colts have the ball with 1:30 left. They'd be content to just run out the clock. They're going to go end run with Jonathan Taylor. And that is a 7. They were wrong. 7 end run is 0 yards. That's astounding. So that's going to be 2nd and 10. They're going to go line buck with their fullback, Jordan, or their other halfback, Jordan Wilkins, but we'll call him the fullback. That is a 6. They were right. Possible offensive penalty. It's -2 yards. And let's see if there was a penalty on the Colts. That is a 9. And 9 is opponent offside. So that's going to be a 5-yard penalty. And it's going to be 2nd down again. And this time they're going to go long. They're going to try it since it's 2nd and 5. They're going to go long to the flanker. And that's a 3. 3 on long pass on the Steelers defense is 25 yards, 2-4. So if this is a 2-4, it is not. It is incomplete. So it's going to be 3rd and 10. 45 seconds left. The Steelers don't see much point in calling timeout, and neither do the Colts. So it's going to be 3rd and 5. They're going to go off tackle with their fullback. The Steelers would be looking for the run here, or the pass. They would be looking for the pass. And that is a 5. Off tackle 5 for the fullback is 0 yards. So that's going to be 4th down. 30 seconds left. They're going to punt. The Colts will. That's a 9 on the punt, which is 45 back 1. So 1, 10, 20, 30, 45, and back it off 1. And the punt return by the Steelers is going to be by Jim Smith Jr. That is a 3. That is 14 yards. 4-10, and the Steelers will have the ball 1st and 10 at the 40. 15 seconds left. I guess they'll call a timeout, see if they can do anything here, but they got to go long passes, and the Colts will be looking for the long pass. It's going to be long to Lynn Swan, and that is a 9 long pass on the Colts defense. And that's incomplete. So time didn't move because there was a timeout. They're going to take their 2nd timeout, and they're going to go long to the split end. And that is a 4 long pass on the Colts defense. I think is incomplete. It is. So it's 3rd and 10. And this time they're just going to let the clock run out. They're going to go long to Swan. Or they're going to let the clock run down. They're not calling a timeout. 3 long pass. And they're looking for it. And that's going to be intercepted 31 yards down the field. 10, 20, 30, and 1. And we'll do the interception return. That could be a touchdown. Oh, whoops. Gotta re-roll that. 4, 25 yards. 1, 10, 20, and 4. And this will be the last play of the half. You know, the Steelers are looking for the long pass. They're going to go long to the split end. And that is a 3, long pass on the Pittsburgh defense. And that's 25 yards, 2-4. It's not, it's incomplete. And that is the end of the half. And at the end of the half, the score is the 2020 Colts 10 and the 1977 Steelers 7. Hello, football fans, Strat-O-Matic football fans. Particularly, we were back for the second half of the game between the 2020 Colts and the 1977 Steel Curtain Pittsburgh Steelers. Currently, the Colts have a 10-7 lead at the half. The Steelers received the opening kickoff, and they had fumbled during their initial drive, and the Colts took over and scored 3 points off of that, and then got a touchdown later in the half, and the Steelers had a touchdown. So that's where we stand, 10-7. I have some changes for the second half. One of the changes includes the logistics of the game. I don't usually switch tactics or switch, how I play the game in the middle of a game, but it really actually it needs to be done. I have a new penalty die, and here is the penalty die, and right here it says penalty on there. The other sides of the dice just have symbols on them, but only one side says penalty. So what we're going to do is, instead of there being 2 chances on a 6-sided die for any kind of penalty to come up, there's only 1 chance now. Only one side says penalty. And when the penalty comes up on the die, I will roll a 20-sider. 1 through 10 will be on the offense. 11 through 12, the penalty will be on the defense. And that's how we're going to do it. Like I said, I don't like doing that mid-game, but both of these teams have so many penalties. Well, actually, the Colts don't. But the Steelers have so many penalties on their penalty card that it just would be too many penalties. So we're going to do it that way. There are lineup changes. For the Steelers, the lineup change is going to be at tight end. Benny Cunningham will be the tight end for the Steelers in the second half. And for the Colts, the change will be at the second halfback, and that'll be Nyheim Hines. He'll be the second halfback. And so with all of that said, let's get on with the game, with the second half of this game. It's a 7, and the Steelers are kicking off. And that's going to be a touchback. So the Colts will take it at the 20. Again, I said in the first half, I'm sticking to it, is I'm not going to mess with, because they've got new rules now. So sometimes it's the 25, depending on if it's a touchback. Sometimes it's whatever, it's a 20 if the guy takes a knee, whatever. I'm just going to say any touchback is the 20. So the Colts will go into action here. First and 10 at their own 20. And they're going to go end run with Jonathan Taylor. And that is going to be an 8. And they're wrong on the end run for Jonathan Taylor. And that's only going to be 2 yards. 2 yards when they're wrong. For Jonathan Taylor. Unreal. So that's going to be a 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8, they're going to go flat pass to their tight end. And that is going to be, where's the penalty die? Or no, that's right. That is the penalty. All right. 7, and they are 7 on a flat pass on the Pittsburgh defense is short gain. And that's a 7, which is going to be, I think, 10 yards. Nope, 15 yards. So that's a 15-yard gain and a first down. 3, 10, 2, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Colts from the 37-yard line. And, yeah, and so we'll put this back to first down. And they're going to go end run with Jonathan Taylor again. And that is going to be a 5, and they're right, and it's a possible fumble, but it's going to be a fumble 0-2. And it isn't. So but he gets 0 yards. So it's 2nd and 10, and they're going to go flat pass to the tight end. And we're going to re-roll this. And they are right, but it doesn't matter. It's a flat pass 5 on the Steeler defense. And that's going to be incomplete. So it is it 3rd and 10 already? No, I think it's 2nd and 10. I forgot to move it. So it's 2nd and 10 right now. And they're going to go short to the split end. Short pass to the split end. Let's see if they're right or wrong. They are wrong. They were looking for the run. And that will be a 2-9 on a short pass for Rivers. And that's incomplete. Oh, wait a minute. No, 8. 8 is receiver. And that's the split end. That is a 5. 5 on the split end. Short is 15 yards. And it's going to be 1st and 10 in Steeler territory for the Colts. They got a 1st and 10 at the Steeler 48. They're going to go end run with their halfback. End run halfback 6, and that's going to be 3 yards. So it's 2nd and 7. And I had the thing wrong again. But anyway, it is 2nd and 7 now. They're going to go long. 2nd and 7, they're going to go long to their flanker. Take a shot at that. Take a shot downfield. 8. Let's see if they were looking for it. 7. And it's 2nd and... How did this get buried? Anyway, it's a 2nd and 7. And they were looking for the pass. So, and this was a long pass to the flanker, and the roll was an 8. And that is incomplete. So it's going to be 3rd and 8, 11:30 left. In the third quarter, they're going to go flat pass. Flat pass to the tight end. And that is a 7. That's going to be a short gain. And that is a 5. Short gain 5 is 17 yards. So the Colts moving the ball now a lot better than they did in the first half. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Colts at the 28 of the Steelers. They're going to go end run with Jonathan Taylor. And that is going to be an 8, end run 8, on the Steeler defense, which I can imagine is probably not good. It isn't. It's a 0-yard gain. So now it's 2nd and 10. I forgot to move the down marker again. Again, my apologies. As I said, there's so many moving parts with this game that, with the football game, you've got to concern yourself with downs. You've got to concern yourself with time, the quarter, the clock. It's just so many moving parts. So sometimes I'm gonna draw a blank and not put the correct down up, but hopefully that doesn't lead to any terrible mistakes that cost the game for one team or the other. But anyway, we have a 2nd and 10. And there's going to be a short pass to the split end by the Colts. And that is a 7, and they have to roll to see if they're looking for the run. So short pass, that doesn't matter. It's 5, short pass on the Pittsburgh defense. And that's going to be receiver. Okay, so it will matter. And then it's 11, short pass on the split end, and 11, and that's going to be 12 yards. So that's another 1st down, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Colts at the 16-yard line. And it's going to be an end run with Jonathan Taylor. And that's going to be an 8, and let's see, 8 on end run for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, I think is 0, if I remember correctly. And it is. So now it's 2nd and 10. They're going to go off tackle with their other halfback, which I'll call the fullback, and that's Nyheim Hines. And that is an 8, and 8 off tackle is, when they're right, is 2 yards. Would have been 2 yards anyway. So it's 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8, 9 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. They're going to go short to the split end. They've been having success with the passing game. That is going to be 7 short on the Pittsburgh defense, which is going to be a 7-yard sack. So that puts it all the way back to the 20, and now it's 4th down. And the Colts are going to kick the field goal from the 20. Kicking a field goal from the 20, they are 2-10 good. And it is. So they get 13. They extend their lead to 13-7, and they will kick off. And that means that the Steelers will have possession. Let me make that change right off the bat. That's a 7 on the kickoff, which is to the 2, number 1. So the Steelers receive the kickoff at the 2. Jim Smith Jr. returning. That is a 4. Or no, wait a minute. Let's see. To the 2, it's number 1 back. It is Jim Smith Jr. That is a 4. That is going to be 28 yards. So that's going to be put the ball at the 30 for the Steelers. 1st and 10 at the 30. And they're going to go end run with their halfback, Rocky Bleier. And that is an 8 on the end run for the Indianapolis Colts defense. And that's going to be 0 yards. So that's a 2nd down and 10 to go. They're going to go off tackle with Franco Harris. They're still using a conservative game plan here because they're within a touchdown of taking a lead. That is a 6 and they're wrong. So off tackle Harris wrong is 4 yards. That's going to be 3rd and 6. That brings up a 3rd and 6 for the Steelers from their own 40 or 34-yard line. They're going to go flat pass to the tight end, Benny Cunningham, the new tight end for the second half, Benny Cunningham. And that is going to be an 8, and that is receiver. And we will roll on Benny Cunningham. His card. Yeah, that dude's card. And it's incomplete. So that's going to bring up 4th down, and the Steelers, of course, are going to punt the ball. And the punt is a 6, which is 41 back 2. So 1, 10, 20, 30, 40. And back number 2 for the Indianapolis Colts is Tremont Smith. That is a 6, and it's going to be 23 yards. So he returns at 20. Or wait a minute. No, that's not a kickoff. 6 is 19 yards. 19 yards on the punt return. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Colts. They have good field position here with a 1st and 10 from their own 44-yard line. They're going to go end run with Jonathan Taylor. And that's going to be a 10 right. And it's an end run. End run 10 right is 5 yards. Not too bad. 2nd down. See that? I missed it again. And this time also, the Colts have the ball. 2nd and 5, they're going to go line buck with the fullback, and that's going to be Nyheim Hines. And that is a 4. Line buck on the Pittsburgh defense is 4 yards. So that brings up a 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1, they're going to go flat pass to the tight end. The passing game has worked pretty good so far this half for them. That is a 3, but it's a possible penalty. First one, and that's refreshing. But anyway, 3, and they're wrong on the flat pass is going to be a short gain. But first, let's see if there's a first of all, we're going to roll the dice. 1 through 10, it's on the offense. 11 through 12. Okay, so it's possibly on the defense, on the Steelers. And we'll roll it, and it's a 6. And 6 is number 5. And I don't think they're going to end up taking the penalty. 5 is roughing the passer 15 yards from the original line of scrimmage and a 1st down. But they got 17. I think they got 17 yards on that. So I think they're going to take the play. They'll take the play at 17 and a 1st down anyway. And so that's going to be 1st and 10 at the 30. Or no, it was a short gain. Let's see what the short gain would have been. 8. Actually, they will take the penalty. You know what? It's only 14 yards, but I'm going to say that they wouldn't take the penalty and they'll back it off 3, and it's going to be 1st and 10 from there. It's still a first down, but it cost them 3 yards, but whatever. It's 1st and 10 for the Colts at the 33-yard line of the Steelers, and they're going to go end run with Jonathan Taylor. And it's another possible penalty, and it's a 5, end run 5 on the Steeler defense, is -3, 2 to 5 or 12 with a possible fumble. 8. It isn't a fumble, but it is a -3 yards. And we'll see what the penalty. It's on the possibly on the offense. So let's roll it for the offense. 9. And 9 is opponent offsides, so they're not going to lose the 3. They're going to get 5. And it's going to be 1st and 5. So 1st and 5, and they're going to go end run with the fullback. That's the other running back, Nyheim Hines. And that's going to be their run. Well, it doesn't matter. It's 7 end run on the Pittsburgh defense, and it's only a yard. 2nd and 9, 4 minutes left. It's second and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's 5. I don't know if I said 9 or 5, but it's 5. 2nd and 5. They're going to go short to the split end again. Their passing game has been working great. And that's a 7 with a possible penalty, and they're right. And that's going to be 11. It would be an 11-yard pass. But let's see if the penalty is possibly on the Colts. And that is a 7. I don't think it is. It isn't. So it's an 11-yard pickup. 3, 8, 11. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Colts at the 18-yard line. Yeah, 18-yard line of the Steelers. 1st and 10. 3:30 left in the third quarter. They're going to go off tackle with the fullback Nyheim Hines. And that's going to be an 8 off tackle right. And that's going to be 2 yards. So that's going to be 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8, 3 minutes left. They're going to go short to the split end. Short to the split end, and that's going to be a 5 on the short pass for Pittsburgh. And that's going to be a receiver. And they're going to the split end, and the split end is T.Y. Hilton. That is a 9. That is going to be 14 yards. And that's going to be down to the 2-yard line. It puts it down at the 2-yard line. 1st and 10. They are going to go line buck with Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor on a line buck. And that is an 8. And 8 on line buck for the Pittsburgh Steelers is 0 yards. Second and goal from the 2. They're going to go line buck with the quarterback. They're going to do a quarterback sneak here. Oh, that's a 12. Let's see what that is. 12, and they were right. That's going to be -2. That's going to be 3rd and goal now at the 4. They're going to do a short pass to the tight end. And they're wrong. The Steelers are wrong, and it's a 3 short pass, which is incomplete. It's incomplete no matter what. So that brings up 4th down for the Colts with 1:30 left in the 3rd quarter. And they're going to... Tough decision here. I mean, they could put them away, but they're going to kick the field goal because that puts them up by more than the score. So the field goal from the 4-yard line is going to be 2-11 good, and it is. So that's another 3, and that gives the Colts 16. The Colts lead at 16-7, and they're going to kick off. And possession will go back to the Steelers on the kickoff. That's a 5 to the 1-yard line, number 1. So number 1 back returning for the Steelers. And that's a 7, which is on the Colts return card, and that's going to be 26 yards. So out to the 27 for the Steelers, 1st and 10. And they're going to go end run with the halfback, Rocky Bleier. They're not ready to, abandon their game plan. That is a 7, and they're right on end run for Rocky Bleier. And that's going to be -6. He loses 6 yards. So it's going to be 2nd and 16. 2nd and 16, they got to start passing again. They got to go short to the split end, which is John Stallworth. And that is a 3. Short pass for Bradshaw is 16 yards. And, 16 yards no matter what. So 4, 10... they barely get the 1st down because he had lost 6. Bleier had lost 6, so it's 1st and 10 for the Steelers from the 37-yard line, and they're going to go long. Now they're going to go long to Stallworth. See if they can catch the Colts off guard. That is a 7 long pass on the Colts defense. That's going to be a -9 sack. They should have stuck to the game plan. 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. They're going to go end run with Rocky Bleier. And we're going to say that the Colts would be looking for the pass. So that's a 5 end run on the Colts defense is fumble, -3, 2-6, 11, or 12. 8. He doesn't fumble, but he does lose 3 more yards. So it's going to be 3rd and forever here. They're going to go long to the flanker, long to Stallworth again. And again, the Colts would be looking for the pass. And that's an 11. Possible penalty, though. 11 long pass is intercepted 33, 2-8. 7, it would be intercepted 33 yards downfield, but let's see what the penalty is. It's a 10, so it's on the it's possibly on the offense, which is the Steelers in this case. And that's a 4. 4 is opponent number 6, so it switches back to the Colts on a pass. And it's 4, which is Was that a completed pass? No, it was an interception. Yeah, it was an interception. So let's see. What is that? A 4. That's going to be defensive pass interference, and it's going to be 25 yards on a first down. Yeah. So the Steelers went from an interception to having a first down. 10, 25. They're right at midfield with a first down on the penalty. 1 second left in the third quarter, and they're going to go end run with the halfback. It seems like I got through this quarter quicker than I should have. But anyway, we'll see. End run with the halfback. Yeah, that's Rocky Bleier. That's an 8. And 8 end run when they are... Oh, yeah. Okay, we're going to have to do the... They are looking for the run. Yeah, they were looking for the run. So end run 8, Rocky Bleier. That's only a yard. It'll be 2nd and 10, and we're starting the fourth quarter, so they're going to go over here. 1st and 10. And they're going to go short pass to the tight end. Short to the tight end, 6. That's 15 yards. 4, 10, 11. It's 1st and 10 for the Steelers from the Colts 34-yard line. They're going to go long to the split end. Long to Stallworth. That is a 3. That is going to be wrong. It's still going to be intercepted. Intercepted 31 yards downfield. No penalty this time. So they would intercept the ball at the 3-yard line. And the return is an 11. What is that? 22 yards on a fumble. So they return it 22 yards, which puts it out at the 25. But they fumble the ball. 2 to 6 or 12, they get it back. They do. So it's going to be the Colts ball at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10. And we'll switch this back to the Colts, who lead 16 to 7 and have the ball. End run halfback at the start of the fourth quarter. And that's going to be an 8 wrong on the end run, and that's going to be 2 yards. 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8, they're going to go long. They're playing with house money here now, so they're going to go long to the flanker. See if they can catch the Steeler defense off guard. That is an 8, and they're right. And that's going to be incomplete. They can't catch them off guard. That brings up a 3rd and 8. They're going to go flat pass to the tight end. Flat to the tight end, 8, I think is receiver. It is. And it's the tight end and on an 8. And that's going to be incomplete. So it's going to be 4th down. And there's 13 minutes left. They're going to punt the ball. which means the Steelers will have possession again. That is a 12. 12 on the punt is terrible. It's blocked, -9 yards. So that's, and number 2 back. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, blocked, no, it's blocked, -9 yards. So the Steelers take over right there. So the Steelers have the ball now, 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line of the Colts. They're going to go line buck with their fullback, Franco Harris. And that is a 4, line buck on the Colts defense, which is 8 yards. So it's 2nd and 2. 2nd and 2, 12 minutes left in the game. They're going to go short pass to the split end. And that is an 8 short pass on the Colts defense, which is -9 sack. Yeah, they didn't need that. So now they got a 3rd and 3rd and 19. Well, no, not 3rd and 19. 3rd and 11. Something like it's 3rd and 11. They're going to go short to the flanker, and that's Swan. Short to the flanker, Swan, and they're wrong. 7. Well, it doesn't matter. It's on the defense. Short pass 7 is 11 yards, and it's a 1st down. Just barely got the 1st down. So now it's 1st and goal for the Steelers at the 8. And they're going to go end run with the fullback, Franco Harris. And that is a 4, and they're right. Franco Harris end run 4-0. So that's going to be a 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal, they're going to go short to the tight end. Short to the tight end, 3, and they were right. And that's 16 yards and a touchdown. Let's see if they make the extra point. They do. And so they now have 14 points. And the Steelers are right back in this. It's 16-14, and they're going to kick off, which means that the Colts will initially have the ball. The Colts having a blocked punt, which led to the touchdown that puts the Steelers only down by 2. And 3 for the kickoff is -5 in the end zone, number 1 back. They're just going to take it on the 20. And this would be their 20 right now. So the Colts have the ball, 10:15 left. They're only up by 2 points. They're going to go end run with Jonathan Taylor. End run Jonathan Taylor wrong is 10. Possible penalty, though. That's going to be 5 yards, but let's see if who the penalty might be on. It would be on the defense, and the defense is, we'll roll it, 12. No, so it's going to be a, it's going to be a 5-yard gain, and it's going to be 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5, they're going to go flat pass to the tight end. And that is a 4 flat pass on the Pittsburgh defense. It's intercepted +3. They just intercepted the ball 3 yards down the field with there's like no roll the dice or any of that. So let's see what the interception return is. It's a 10. Interception return 10 is 13 yards. Holy crap, what a turnaround. 3, 10, and now the Steelers have the ball 1st and 10 at the Colts 15-yard line. And they're going to go off tackle with Franco Harris. What a turn of events here. 11 off tackle on the Colts defense is 3 yards. So now it's 2nd and 7. And they're going to go end run with Rocky Bleier. And that is a 5. That's on the Colts defense. And end run 5 is fumble, -3, 2 to 6, 11, or 12. They do fumble, 2 to 6 or 12, they get it back. They don't get it back. They fumble the ball. And that was a, 3-yard loss? Yep, 3-yard loss. So 1, 2, 3, and now possession goes back to the Colts, who have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 15, which they're happy. I mean, they're deep in their own end, but they're happy to get the ball back on a critical fumble by Rocky Bleier. And now it's 1st and 10 for the Colts from the 15. They're going to go off tackle with their new running back, Nyheim Hines. And that's going to be a 2 off tackle on the Pittsburgh defense. And that's 30 yards, a 30-yard run. 10, 20, 30, and the Colts have it now 1st and 10 at the 40, at their own 45. And they're going to go end run with the halfback, Jonathan Taylor. And that's going to be a 4, but a possible penalty. 4 is 5 yards, but let's see who the penalty might be on. It might be on the offense. Let's roll it. See if it is. 7, I don't think it is. Nope, no penalty. So they got, what did they get now? I think they got 5 yards. Yes, they got 5 yards. So it's 2nd and 5. 8:15 left in the game. They're going to go off tackle with the other, with the fullback, which is the other running back. And that is a 9, possible penalty, and they're right. Off tackle right 9 is 3 yards. But let's see if there was a penalty. It's possibly on the offense, and it's a 6. And I don't know if that is. Nope, it isn't. So he gets, what did he get? Off tackle. I think he got 3 yards. I'm going to say, oh, wait a minute. I'm going to say he got 3 yards. I think he did. 1, 2, 3. So it's 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2. They're going to, and let's move it. 7:45 left. They're going to go end run with the halfback. And that is an 11, end run 11. That's going to be 5 yards and a first down for the Colts. 2, 3, and they got it first and 10 at the Steeler 42-yard line. Back to a first down. 7:15 left. They're going to go short to the split end. And that's going to be an 8 short pass. Let's see what they were looking for. They were looking for the run. So that's going to be an 8 short pass on Phillip Rivers. It's going to be receiver. The split end rolls a 5. And that's going to be 15 yards. So a 15-yard pickup, 2, 10, and 3. And that's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Colts from the 22 of the Steelers. .6:45 left in the game. If they score a touchdown here, I think that's pretty much going to be it. And I don't think the Steelers can come back with the way these defenses are playing. It's going to be an end run, Jonathan Taylor. And that's an 8 end run right. That's a yard. 2nd and 8. And they're going to go flat pass to the tight end. Flat pass tight end 3 is -4. They lost 4 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's a 3rd down and like 13. 3rd and 13. They're going to have to go short to the flanker. Is what they're going to do. Short to the flanker 7, and that's going to be 11 yards, but it's short of the 1st down by 2 yards. It's 4th down and 5:15 left. They're going to try to kick a field goal from there. That is going to be a 20. It's from the 29 or from the 19. It's from the 19. And the field goal would be good 2-10. And it is just barely good. And so that's 3 more points and gives them 19. Now it's 19-14. The Steelers would need a touchdown. Oh wait, no, that was a kick. So time doesn't move there. The Colts are kicking off, so the Steelers will initially have the ball. 10 kickoff. -8 in the end zone, number 2 back. So they're going to take it on the 20. So the Steelers will have it 1st and 10 at the 20. And they're going to come out and they're going to go long. They're going to go long to Lynn Swann and hope they can catch the Colts with their pants down because there's still a lot of time left. 6, long pass 6, Bradshaw, and they were right, so it's incomplete. Second and 10, 4:45 left. They're going to go flat to the tight end. Flat to the tight end. They are right. That's a 6. That's going to be 7 yards. So 3rd and 3. That's a doable pickup. 3rd and 3. They're going to go flat pass to the flanker. Now, people criticize me for not passing to the halfbacks, but really, or the running backs. But the running backs for the Steelers were terrible at receiving passes. So they're going to go flat to the flanker, Lynn Swann. Possible penalty, and it's a 5. Flat pass, and they're right. So it would be incomplete. Let's see who the penalty might be on. Might be on the defense. So let's roll it for the Steelers and see. That is a 4. 4 is opponent number 6. So it's going to be on the Colts. Penalty pass 6. is holding 10 yards from the line of scrimmage and a first down. So 3, 8, 10, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Steelers from the 32-yard line. 3:45 left in the game. They're going to go long to the split end, and that's Stallworth. And that's a 3 long. I don't believe it. He got picked off again. He did. He got picked off again. 31 yards downfield, Bradshaw did. 3, 10, 20, 30, and back it off 2. And the return is, we're going to roll for the interception return, which is a 7, which I think is nothing. It is. No yards on the return. But it's going to be first down for the Colts. And that probably is a nail in the coffin right there. There's 3:15 left. If the Colts use any kind of time here, even if they don't score, it would seem like that's going to be the final score. End run halfback. They're going to go Jonathan Taylor end run, but they have made their share of mistakes in this game too. 9 end run on the Pittsburgh defense is 0 yards. So 2:45 left, and they got a 2nd and 10. They're going to go short to the split end. Short to the split end 6. What were they looking for? They were looking for the run. No, wait a minute. Second and 10. 1 to 10 pass. So they were looking for the pass. And that was a short pass. So they were looking for it. So it's a 6 on Bradshaw's card. It's 15 yards, though. 3, 10, 2, and it's a first down for the Steelers. Wait a minute. No. The Colts have the ball. Right? I think so. I think the Colts have the ball. So that is going to be that's going to be incomplete. So we're going to have to knock it back 15 yards. 2, 10, 3. And that's going to be a 3rd. I'm just going to guess it was 3rd and 8. I don't know what it was. I apologize. Again, so much stuff going on. But anyway, we're going to say it's 3rd and 8. And they're going to go short pass to the tight end. Short to the tight end 7 when they're right. That is 11 yards, so that'll be a first down. 3, let's see, 3, 8, 11. So that's a first down for the Colts. 1:52 left. 1st and 10. They're going to go end run with the halfback. That's Jonathan Taylor. They're trying to pick the safest plays they can, but 6 end run 6 on the Steeler defense is 5 yards. 2nd and 5. Minute 37 left. They're going to go short to the tight end. Short to the tight end 8. See if they're looking for it. They're looking for the pass. So 8 short pass is looking for it. It's incomplete. 3rd and 10. Minute 22 left. or not 3rd and 10, 3rd and like 5, 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5, they're going to go flat to the split end. Flat pass to the split end. They're right. That's a 5. It's 10 yards, though, and a first down. So it's going to be 1st and 10 now, again, for the Colts. The Steelers will take a timeout here, so time won't move on this play. 1st and 10, they're going to go end run with Jonathan Taylor. And that is an 8, and they're wrong. And that's only 2 yards. 2nd and 8. Time didn't move because the Steelers called the timeout. They'll let the time run on this play. It's going to be it's going to be flat to the tight end. Flat pass to the tight end for the Colts. 7, and flat pass 7 is a short gain, and that's a 5. And that is 17 yards and a first down, obviously. .52 seconds left. The Steelers will call second timeout. They're going to go short to the split end. Short to the split end 5 is receiver. And the split end gets a 5. And that's 15 yards. And that's going to be down to the 3. So 1st and goal at the 3. The Steelers, oh, wait a minute. No, the Steelers, they called the timeout, so the time doesn't move on that. They're going to go line buck with their fullback, and that's Nyheim Hines. And he gets a line buck 2, and they're looking for the pass. And that's going to be 20 yards. It's a touchdown. And so the extra point will roll for that. That is good. And that's going to be 26 for the Colts. And the score is now 26-14 Colts, and they will kick off, and the Steelers really don't have much of a chance now. To the 8-yard line, number 2. They'll catch it at the 8. They have the number 2 back returning. And that is an 11. And that's going to be 30 yards. So it's out to the 38. Nice field position. It would be better if there was a lot more time left in the game, but there isn't. There's only 37 seconds left. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, they called the timeout. So the Steelers, I think, have one more timeout. And they're going to take it, and they're going to go long to the flanker. They're down by more than one score, though. So that is a 9. And the Colts would be looking for the pass. So there's no question there. 9 long. And that's going to be incomplete. Second down. And now the Steelers are out of timeouts. They're going to go long to the split end now on 2nd and 10. And that is a 6. Long pass 6 on the Colts defense is intercepted 32 yards downfield, 2 to 6, 11 or 12. And it is 32 yards downfield, 10 or 2, 10, 20, 30, and the interception return is a 9. And that is 10 yards. There's only 37 seconds left. They're going to go end run with Jonathan Taylor. The Steelers are looking for the run. That is an 8. End run 8 on the Steeler defense, I think, is 0. We've established. So it's second down. Second down, they're going to go off tackle with the other running back, and that's Nyheim Hines. That is an 8, and they were looking for the run, so that's 2 yards. And it's going to be 3rd and 8, 8 seconds left. And they're going to go line buck with the quarterback. And that is an 8 line buck on the Steeler defense. And that's going to be 0 yards. And it's going to be 4th down. And I think that's it. That's the game. So that's your final score. 26-14 Colts. The 2020 Colts beat the 1977 Steelers in an unlikely result. And that's going to be it for me, Sportsman Z. Bob Zolke, signing off.